Alright, how's it going? So we had the light heavyweight undisputed fight on the weekend. Controversy, right? Some people thought Bivol won the fight. Some people were calling it a robbery. First off, do I think it was a robbery? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I thought the right man won. I thought that Beterbiev did the more consistent work, right? You could say that Bivol landed the more eye-catching punches during the fight, but I felt Bivol was more consistent. To begin with, Bivol was fighting very consistent. Bivol was fighting his fight for the first 2 or 3 rounds. He was very good, very sharp, very quick, countering, jabbing, moving. It was all going his way to begin with. He was fighting his fight. But obviously the pressure from Beterbiev got to him, because come round 4, things completely changed from there. Round number 4, Beterbiev got on the front foot. Beterbiev started landing. Bivol's hands dropped. Bivol was no longer so sharp. Beterbiev definitely got to him. But Bivol, he showed toughness. He got hit with some good punches in the fight. Visibly, you could tell that he was hurt at times, but he didn't let it show a lot. When Bivol gets hurt, what he does is simply move a bit more, and look to shell up a bit. He doesn't really show that he's hurt, But yeah, from round 4 onwards, I thought Beterbiev took over the fight. He was far more consistent. Put it this way, Beterbiev would win 2 minutes 30, 2.5 minutes of a round, right? Bivol might win 30 seconds of the round, but that doesn't give Bivol the round. That's obviously a Beterbiev round. That's the way I try to score fights. I don't simply look at the eye-catching punches. I try to look at the consistency during the round. And Beterbiev was definitely the more consistent fighter, right, through many rounds. Like I say, Beterbiev would win 2.5 minutes of a round. Towards the end of rounds, typically Bivol would perk up. He would get a bit more energy in those last 20 seconds or so of a round, maybe land a punch or two. He was trying to steal rounds. That's the way I saw it. I think Bivol was definitely trying to steal rounds, and guys do that. Guys, they do try to do that, and sometimes it works. They'll be losing a round, but they'll put together a combination in the last 20 seconds of a round, and sometimes that fools judges into giving them the round, when in reality they lost 80 to 90% of that round. They only won the last 10% of it, but sometimes that convinces the judges that they actually won the round. So I saw some of that going on from Bivol. He was definitely trying to steal some rounds. But Beterbiev, this is what I saw. I saw him doing consistent work. I saw him being the aggressor, the effective aggressor, right? And landing punches, backing Bivol up, most of the round, right? And then Bivol would have a little moment during the round. But that wasn't enough for me to convince me that he had won that round. That's the way I see things. I can see through that and see that Beterbiev won the round. However, I will rescore the fight. I think it was close. I think it's worth rewatching and rescoring. So I will do that, and I will give a better review round by round on who won the fight. But yeah, that's the way I saw it. That's the way I felt, is that Beterbiev was the more consistent fighter. I think both guys could have done better. I think Beterbiev at times could have been more aggressive and landed more and put more of a hurt on Bivol. Likewise, I thought Bivol could have done more, but like I say, I think Bivol felt the power. I think he felt the power, he felt the pressure, and he started to really, well, he did. He went away from his game plan. He couldn't throw as much, and he was just, fighting in spurts. Like I say, trying to win rounds by fighting in spurts, normally towards the end of a round. One thing I want to say is that I thought the commentary was extremely biased, right? It's like they only saw one guy in there. They only had eyes for what Bivol was doing. They were only looking at Bivol and what he was doing. So terrible commentary. And even the people, whoever was in control of showing highlights between rounds, I mean, what a disgrace. Absolutely disgraceful, the highlights that they chose. I mean, there were a couple of rounds in there where Beterbiev was completely dominant, but Bivol landed one punch in the round, and when they showed the highlights between rounds, they picked out that one punch that Bivol landed in the whole round and chose that as the highlight that they would show. So I was sure that Bivol was going to get the decision. But yeah, it did go to who I think was the right man, the deserved winner, and that was Beterbiev. So yeah, that's the way I saw it. Let me know what you think.